So, I've never made a video before. I don't like pictures of myself, and videos are just worse for me. But I guess I've had a lot on my mind lately, and I just don't know who to talk to. So, nameless, random people on the internet sound about as good as it can get. So, about 4 years ago, I bought a car. Not by choice. Second car in my entire life that I've been forced to buy. And, I mean, it was like I didn't have a choice. So, at the time, my boyfriend was having a lot of family problems. His dad and his mom were harassing him to get a job. Now, that's fine for any 18, 19-year-old for their parents to want them to mature and grow up and get on with their lives. Except they had 2 cars. And his dad would stay at home and do pretty much nothing. He would go hunting, go fishing, or be at home asleep or on the computer. Didn't bring in any money, and apparently had racked up $18,000 in debt, which about $6,000 of that dollars his wife paid off herself. They had no savings, nothing really. So instead of him working, he would sit at home and yell at his son to get a job. So he kept trying, my boyfriend. And he kept trying, and he would borrow the car one day, go around, put in like 15, 20 applications. And after about 4 or 5 hours of driving around, wasting gas, putting in applications, and hoping he would get a call, he would then come over to my house and we would just talk and play video games or do something. There was nothing he could do. And if the applications were online, he would do them right away. But his dad still wasn't satisfied. And after 6 months of him trying, no one was giving him a chance. So no one would give him a job. So after 6 months of trying, his dad was getting really pissed off. Even though he wasn't working, he wasn't bringing in any money himself. And my boyfriend kept trying. And he kept trying. And he kept trying. And his dad would get angrier and angrier and angrier. So finally he would go out and he would get 2 sets of applications. And when he'd come home, he'd hand one to his dad and tell him, well, since you don't have a job either, here, you can try to find one too. Which, it finally hit its breaking point after a year. His dad was drinking, which is never a good thing with his dad, because his dad becomes a jerk. More of a jerk than when he's drinking. Well, not drinking. And they would get into fights, and it started getting to the point where it would be physical. And so finally me and my boyfriend sat down and we were like, well, you gotta get out. You can't stay here anymore. Your life at your parents' house is becoming unhealthy. Your parents would let you use the car, and then the next day they would tell him it's broken. Or his dad would magically hear a noise that would make him want to work on the car, and then he'd tie the car up for 3 weeks and get angrier that he wasn't putting in applications. And then he wouldn't let him use his truck because the truck was only for business. Except for there was no business. It's the middle of summer and he is a construction worker. His dad was sitting at home watching the Weather Channel. So he moved out and didn't talk to his parents for a year because he knew that there was just going to be fight after fight after fight. So after about 2 months of him borrowing my mom's car and us trying to find him a job, we realized he needed a car. So a neighbor down the street from where I grew up was selling their car, and I thought, sure, why not? If it works and if it doesn't fall apart after 5 minutes driving it, we'll get it and we'll only have it for a few years. So then we bought the car for $3,000. It's $19.99. It's an old car. And worse off, it's an old family car. So it's got a lot of miles on it. But for $3,000, it was in really good condition. So we had a little work done to it. We had some rust dealt with, and then we had a little bit of engine work done. But that was really all we had to put into the car. Up until about a year ago. That's when all of our problems started. First, the back passenger door stopped working. So if you had to get in, you would have to, climb through the driver's side passenger door. And then the driver window stopped working. Then the front passenger's window stopped working. And then the front passenger door stopped working for about a day. And then my boyfriend kicked it and it was working again. And that lasted about another 3 months until it stopped working again. So we couldn't pay for a car because at the time we were saving up for our wedding. So he went from being my boyfriend to my fiance to now husband. And yeah, he found a job 6 months after moving in with me and my mom. Well, just me. And then about a year and a half ago, my mom and my dad split, and now she lives with me. Yeah. So my life went from me by myself in my house to me and my boyfriend in my house to then me and my boyfriend and my mom and all of our pets in my house. Yeah. Life became pretty hectic. So he had this pretty good job and he likes it, but he's looking for a new one because of a couple of stupid little things at work that don't really matter right now. And yesterday, when he was going to get off for lunch, the transmission stopped working. And the car will only go forward now. Thank God that we got his tax refund yesterday because we were able to go lease a car. It's not exactly what I wanted to do, but we ended up getting the car we want for like $10,000 for 3 years. It's not half bad in my opinion, and we have a working car. Now, if I could just get the madness that is my house together, then maybe my life will be much, much easier. My life is really, really crazy right now. And it's just getting crazier. My little sister's about to go on her first date, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm happy, but I just feel like my life is just gonna keep getting crazier for a while. And I'm okay with that right now, as long as I can find a way to vent. Thanks for listening.